What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and if you thought that cancel culture was out of control before, just look at where we are now. The voice actor who plays Obi Wan Kenobi in Star Wars The Clone Wars has been canceled simply for posting and simply for having an account on a social media site that they do not want you to post on, that the far left media machine has told you that's only where extremists hang out because they can't censor it. And they're so afraid of the truth, so afraid of not being able to control the narrative, that because someone has an account there, they will literally fucking cancel them. And his fellow Lucasfilm employees like Mark Hamill are going out of their way to ensure that he knows it's bad for him to have a Parler account. That's exactly what we saw play out. James Arnold Taylor got destroyed yesterday from all of these fucking weird people, and he was forced to come out and apologize over and over and over again and explain himself. But as we all know, you can't argue with SJWs. You can't argue with these cancel culture weirdos. And simply for starting an account on Parler and putting shit out there, he got canceled, and it is an absolute shame. The collective comes for Obi Wan. This is from Ichibaka. Disney Star Wars is dumb. Thank you, Ichibaka. SJWs like to give a lot of lip service to free speech, but when given the opportunity, they do anything they can to suppress it because they're painfully aware of their inferior arguments are capable of withstanding debate. Since Twitter is becoming a social media branch of the CCP, many normal people are fleeing to Parler to be able to express themselves in any way to please without the regard to SJW overlords. That also includes Obi-Wan Kenobi voice actor James Arnold Taylor. Now, I actually did see that James Arnold Taylor had a Parler account the other day because I have a Parler account. Shockingly, it's not full of Nazi propaganda like you would expect the way that the mainstream media talks about it. You have Yellow Flash simply sharing a video. 19K Fox sharing a video gets echoed by Tugs. An echo is basically like a retweet on Twitter. There's Ruthie just making fun of some people who hate Trump. My Nerdy Home trying to get more followers than Drunk 3PO on Parler. You should follow both Steph and Drunk 3PO and everybody over on Parler because it is a growing app and it is awesome. The Hodge twins are over there who are also on YouTube. Gateway Pundit posting, Lady Gravemaster posting. This is not some far right neo-Nazi website like they would like you to think. But the problem is that they can't control the narrative on Parler. They can't censor on Parler, so they are scared of it. And they're trying to scare people into thinking that that is what Parler is and shame them. And it worked in this case. Just imagine, for years, when we've been saying it, we've been talking about the censorship on Twitter, the censorship on YouTube. They say, well, if you don't like the censorship, then go somewhere else. And then you go somewhere else, you go to Parler, and what do these people say? They call you a Nazi because you're not on Twitter. They're insane. You can't please them, so you shouldn't even try. But James Arnold Taylor tried and failed. Take a look at this. This is a post on Reset Era. Reset Era is absolute garbage. Reset Era is trash. But this is what happened. Chibo posted, to those who don't know, Parler is a fringe right-wing social media platform blowing up of late because the right can't admit that Trump lost. Well, no, it's because people are tired of seeing fact checks only in one way. They're tired of getting censored only in one way. And the fact that the media thinks that Biden won, has declared that Biden won, has only amplified that and shown that they're trying to control everything. So yeah, people are going to Parler, and it is kind of blowing up lately. But they show this. James Arnold Taylor, a well-known video game and animation actor of Ratchet and Clank, Titus, and Obi-Wan, joined the platform and is posting some really vile alt-right nonsense. All right, so when you think of vile alt-right nonsense, tell me if this is what comes to mind. Him echoing something. This article. Breaking. Twitter shuts down account of Chinese professor Li Mengyan, who has evidence China created COVID in a lab. Echo if you stand with her. Wow. Whoa, slow down there. That seems dangerous to me. Well, what about this one? If you don't think you'll be watching the NFL for a while, it's talking about NFL ratings crashing. That is now considered alt-right to these people. This is what James Arnold Taylor supposedly echoed. Now, he has denied this. He has denied this vehemently, in fact, and he ended up getting shamed on Twitter from this person who shared this out, saying that he's posting racist and COVID conspiracies. He says, I'm extremely saddened to see this absolutely false claim being made about me. Anyone can look at my Parler account and see I post the same things I post here and my other social media platforms. I would ask whoever posted this to contact me and we can discuss this slander. And it even went further, right? It even went further than that because he wanted to explain himself. Now, none of this helped in any way, shape, or form, because now you see Data Racer. SJWs are bullying voice actor James Arnold Taylor for having a Parler account. They're accusing him of racism, calling it Parler a, quote, white supremacist hate platform. Mark Hamill joined in to offer his concern, and the Star Wars voice actor has now deleted his Parler account. Here it is. James Arnold Taylor, that's that tweet where he said, I didn't say these things. Look at all these people coming after him. The fact that you even have an account is disgusting. I can't describe the pain of my Obi Wan having an account on a white supremacist social media site. Come on, man. Why do you even have a Parler account? You still have an account. Why do you even have a Parler account? Because these sheep, these weirdos, the same people that follow Pedro Pascal around and harass people for him, the weirdos with their pronouns in their bios, Black Lives Matter and all cops are bad in their bios, these same freaks have been indoctrinated into thinking that Parler is some extremist site, when in fact, it's not. Not in any way, shape, or form. They're simply not going to censor people for their thoughts. So if that's right-wing extremism, not censoring anyone who has a different opinion, then maybe more people are going to be extremists, to be honest. But we all know that it is not an extremist belief. They have been tricked by the media because the media is so scared. They are so scared of anything that doesn't align with their narrative. They have labeled anyone who's on Parler an extremist. It is disgusting, and the fact that these people are falling for it makes sense because these people aren't the smartest. They're not sending their best. I think we all understand that. But Mark Hamill chimes in. Now, this is after he posts a video. I do kind of want to show this, actually. I want you to listen to James Arnold Taylor himself, and he says some great things here, in all honesty. I don't know if we'll listen to the whole thing because it is 2 minutes long, but listen to James Arnold Taylor.
Hey everybody, James Arnold Taylor here, and some disturbing things I'm seeing online about me that aren't true, and I want to get to the bottom of it. I know a lot of people say, oh James, just ignore it, don't worry about it, these people are saying things and that's what people do. Yeah, that would be one thing if I had said the things and I just didn't want to deal with it, but whatever is being said about me right now...
I will be honest, I do think that if he would have just fucking ignored the hate and just kept going, I think it would have been better. I think eventually... these people will never forget. We've seen with Gina Carano's timeline, they never forget. But now that he's continued to argue with them, now that he's shown he's bent the knee to them, I think that ultimately will be worse for him. But let's let him continue.
Is inaccurate, and whatever posts they're putting up are inaccurate. They're not mine. So
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. James Arnold Taylor did have a Parler account. I saw him had some activity on that, and he's been on there for a while, but he's just posting mostly normal stuff. Now, I think what he means is he didn't write those, that those are echoes, but it wasn't that bad. It was not ridiculous things. It was about NFL ratings and the potential of COVID being created maybe in a Chinese lab, which we've heard for a long, long time, but never got any confirmation of or anything like that. Simply an echo. That's it.
I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it, but I don't know how you get to the bottom of anything in social media these days when people can pose as you or people can say what they want about you, and it doesn't really matter, and people decide in the court of public opinion whether you're guilty or not, whether you are or not. But I can tell you I'm not a COVID conspiracy person. I'm not a right-wing conspiracy person. I'm an entertainer. I do voices in cartoons and video games and movies, and that's it. I'm an entertainer. I'm not a political person, so sorry to burst everybody's bubble, but whatever is being said about me is not true, and I hope you all maybe help me spread the word about that and get to the bottom of it. And whoever is spreading...
And he does continue on and just ask that whoever's spreading this stuff to stop, but I think one of the important things he said that is, I'm not about all this, I'm an entertainer, and that's what I want to do, is to entertain, and I think that's something that is lost in a lot of ways right now. But Mark Hamill follows up. The great Mark Hamill, who's lost the respect of so many people because of his TDS and things like this. Now, Mark Hamill does go out there to support James Arnold Taylor, but in the process, shames him for being on the platform and helps to push this theory that is this far-right extremist site. Mark Hamill, anyone who knows you knows that these accusations are untrue. Beware of Parler. Parler, a self-described pro-free speech website that promises not to fact-check content as Facebook and Twitter increasingly remove or flag viral fake news and misinformation. Fact-checking is important. Do you remember like 2 weeks ago when things weren't getting fucking fact-checked because it wasn't about Trump? You weren't trying to hide anything that Trump is saying. Do you remember that? When Facebook and Twitter used to be able to put stuff out there, and if someone had a bad take or stupid take, they got called out for it. But no, only recently they started doing all this fact-checking BS, right, where it's only fact-check on one side. But now Mark Hamill shames him. What does James Arnold Taylor do? I've deleted the account as I don't want any more assumptions. Well, congratulations, mob. Congratulations, Mark Hamill. You've won. The man deleted his account because you shamed him into doing it because you branded him in a certain way. I opened the account back in June or July of this year when I heard it's another form of social media. Frankly, I'm done with all social media at this point. I can only say that whatever reposts weren't me. He does bend the knee. He deletes his tweet. And if you see, he is still going through, even 7 hours ago in the middle of the night, trying to say, well, it's not mine. I mean, I don't feel that way. He keeps continuing to argue with people because they're not going to believe you. It doesn't matter what you do, James Arnold Taylor. It doesn't matter how much you bend the knee. It will never be enough. So I feel bad for the guy. He is a dude who, actually, let's go to right here. Let's go right here. See Lord Dash. Dash is an awesome dude. Subscribe to Dash. Mate, you know your heart's in the right place and that's all that matters. I'm afraid there's a list of things that the okay to be intolerant towards on Twitter. Conservatives, perceived or real, and Christians. Unfortunately, you're a man of faith, which means undue scrutiny. And it is sad that he's having to go through this, but the idea that Mark Hamill contributed to branding everybody that is on this site as some crazy lunatic, right? It should say a lot. Even Ryan Johnson. Look at Drunk 3PO here. Ryan Johnson throwing shade now at Parler as well. And it shouldn't be surprised. It is a threat to these people. Anything that threatens them, they will try to destroy. And that's exactly what we're seeing here with him. And it's sad. Obi Wan Kenobi from Clone Wars. James Arnold Taylor. I know a lot of you have probably heard that even if you didn't know his name. But he has been sufficiently canceled because of all of this. We'll see what happens going forward. This entire thing is disgusting to see, but I do highly recommend that everybody start a Parler account because whether you're on the left or the right, as soon as you say something that doesn't align with the mainstream media narrative, they will try to cancel you. They will try to brand you a certain way, regardless of your actual beliefs. So if you want to be able to say whatever you want, I would try going over there. I'll put my link in the description below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.